11:30. It is the 16th of August, 2026. Gotta make another mental note. I don't know what day it was and on other times. It was not that long ago. I went up to 7-Eleven. Come out of 7-Eleven. And there was a petitioner there. You know, a man with a clipboard. You see these guys often gathering signatures for different political things or whatever. And he approaches me. Okay, here's the deal. First, when I got to 7-Eleven, when I walked into 7-Eleven, he was at 7-Eleven, you know, right in front of the store, on the sidewalk right in front of the store. And so I anticipated that when I come out of the store that he would approach me and want a signature for something. And I was ready to listen and maybe sign, you know, and I was going to take the time to do it. So when I walked out of the store, I looked and he wasn't there, and I thought, well. So I leave the store and I get down the road, down the sidewalk a little bit, and he's down on the corner. And he says, hey, you know, now we're by ourselves. We're not from the store anymore. We're not on cameras. We're by ourselves. And he's got this petition, and it had a few signatures on it. And the petition was about, like a complaint about the response to 911 calls, the lag time, how long it takes to get an officer or not even be able to get an officer when you call 911. Right? Sound familiar? Like the situation I'm dealing with, the police here. So I sign it, date it. Totally oblivious. Well, kind of. I got a little note, you know. And then he says, hey, man, and he goes, I work for a company called Fieldworks, and they pay $30 an hour to do this. And they're hiring, and if this is something you'd be interested in doing, here's the number. The company's name is Fieldworks, and this is what you do. And I took a picture of his badge. He had an ID thing, and he said that he would get like $300 or $250, some amount of money, if I was hired on through his recommendation. So I got all of his information, and then I followed his instruction. And his instruction, you know, to call that number. And so I call the number. Okay, hold on. Let me back up. So I didn't have my phone on me. We're standing on the corner. He tells me about the job. I'm interested. I don't have my phone on me. I don't have a way to write anything down. I said, you going to be here for a minute? He goes, yeah. I said, let me run home, grab my phone. I'll come back so I can do this. So I do that. I come home, I get my phone, I go back and find him there at Trader Joe's parking lot. And he's kind of like hovering around a customer at Trader Joe's. I was watching him from down the road, and he was just kind of like biding his time. He peeked and saw that I was coming up the road, and then he acted like he was busy. And he waited for me to get across the road and whatever, and he approached the lady to try to get a signature on this, what I believe is a bogus thing. I don't think there's any of this was exactly what he said it was. And so we have another conversation. I take a picture of his badge, and I have all the full instructions, what this guy tells me to do. And I'm excited, and I think maybe, you know, because I am disabled and I have a hard time in the workplace. But I thought this petitioning thing might just be okay. It might, you know, it's not hard labor. And, you know, if I could get paid $30 an hour to do this, this is a great opportunity. And I'm excited. I'm running the bike downhill back here, back home, and I'm flying, feeling good. And I look up, about to pull in the driveway. I look up, and Jerry's standing out there, just staring at me. And I get further on, in here, and Jordan's on his porch in his space, staring at me. And I look over there at John's place, and John is on his porch, staring at me. So I follow instructions. I call the number, and it's this AI, automatic, like a AI operator. And the AI operator's name is Jordan. And the AI operator's voice is a little bit high-pitched. Jordan tends to speak to me with a high-pitched voice. I don't think it's exactly genuine. I think it's theater. And, and so it was just ridiculous. It was just like, it was all text and it was all automated. And they'd tell you the way, it was just this ongoing thing. They kept doing this thing. They kept doing this ongoing thing, and they wanted to do a background check and all these things they said on me and blah, blah, blah. And they were going to wait for that to come back. The guy looked at me when he was explaining the situation, the job, and he said, listen, man, he goes, this job's for just about anybody. All you have to do is not be a felon, and you can work here. You can, as long as you don't have any felonies, they'll hire anybody, is what he told me. So I jump through the hoops. I go through the hoops, and I get the background check done. And my background check comes back with a hit on it because I unlawfully maced somebody. I was being harassed, right? And I unlawfully maced somebody. I'm guilty as charged as far as the law is concerned. And that's why I was denied the job. That was not a felony. In fact, that was a case I could have beat, but the police officer that wrote the report blatantly lied on the report. And if the officer's going to lie in my case, who else is going to lie in my case? And I thought to myself, you know what? You plead guilty, you get the standard slap on the wrist for this shit. You ain't going to have no jail time. It's going to be a fine, and if you try to fight this, see, here's the deal. They told me to fight it. They wanted me to fight it. They were setting me up on some shit, dude. And really trying to get into a case to manufacture a higher consequence. So I pled guilty to something I really wasn't even guilty of. The guy put hands on me. Okay, he put hands on me. I maced him. I maced him once. I carry mace. I was told by law enforcement after having to defend myself in an instant. I didn't go to jail or get in any trouble, but I was in a situation where I was in danger. I had to defend myself, and after they scraped that guy up off the fucking pavement and put him in and hauled him off and shit, the officer looked at me and said, Mr. Graham, I really would appreciate it if you could start carrying mace and maybe end the fight a little quicker next time. So I followed his advice. I took his instruction. I don't get in physical altercations. It's very rare. And I walk away from situations as much as possible. But they won't let you walk away always. And, like I said, anyway. So now I can't carry a mace. See, that whole thing was just a setup, And who knows about this background check or this or that or what, there's always a motive, right? Who knows if any of it was real? It's all theater. But there's real motives, right? So it's John. It's John. It's Jerry. It's Jordan. Actually, I like to refer to this situation as John, Jordan, Jerryheimer, Schmidt. Because Schmidt is my ex-wife's maiden name. And I'm pretty damn convinced. Pretty sure this is all tied to her and all the nonsense from Crescent City. Like I said before, I'm pretty sure I have memories of seeing Jerry in his Toyota pickup staring at me from afar when I was going through a lot of these gang stalking problems, when I was going through death. You know, these people were trying to kill me, man. You know, here's another thing I want to point out with these landscapers. Okay. Now, I magically came up with 3 cats one day. I wanted a cat really bad. Ended up with some cats. I ended up with 3 black cats. Long story short. One of them got pregnant. We had a litter. And these cats were beautiful. I kept 2 out of the litter. And one of them was a striped tabby with beautiful spots. Beautiful cat. Absolutely gorgeous. He ended up getting killed. Right. And so on my back porch, there's a long story to it. I'm not going to get into it, but that cat was murdered. Right. And Jerry has everything to do with it, and so do these people next door. Because guess what? These people next door, their cats, bear a striking resemblance to Mr. T. Striking resemblance. Yeah. These people, the neighbors, Jerry, these people connected, they've known me, they know me. You know what I'm saying? They know me. And they want me to know that they know me. So like Tony was out here. I was outside in my garden doing stuff. Tony was outside fucking with his Harley. And we were talking about cats. And I think one of his cats got out. Or he was trying to get a cat inside or something. Somehow we were talking about cats. And he says, yeah, I'm afraid a coyote's going to kill my cat. Well, when I went through that shit with Mr. T, my cat, I had a neighbor up the stairs, right? And so what had happened was Mr. T needed neutered. He was getting aggressive with my female cats. And so it was to the point where I couldn't have him inside anymore with the other cats temporarily. He had a vet appointment, and he was about a week and a half away from that vet appointment when he ended up getting killed. But what I did was I had a back porch, and I was able to screen it in, and I screened it in, and nothing went in and nothing come out. He was safe, and he was taken care of, and he was loved. And they killed him. Now, my neighbor from upstairs, right after, maybe, I don't know if it was that day or just a few days later or something, I've had Mr. T on the back porch, and it's all screened in, it's all new, and it's a thing, and people are looking at it. It's drawing attention. And the neighbor comes down, and I had a lot of problems with her harassing me too. This is at Gulf Creek, 8020J, Gulf Creek. Anyway, so she comes down. We're not friends. I'm not friends with this lady. I don't even know her name still to this day. She comes down and she wants to help me with things. All of a sudden, never invited her over. She wants to help me. She wants to give me some advice. And she says, if I was you, I wouldn't be keeping your cat outside. It'll get killed. A coyote will get your cat. And your cat will get killed. Or her cat got killed by a coyote. And she was sure that mine would too. And I told her, I said, well, I screened in the porch. I think it's going to be fine. Oh, coyote's not going to get on that porch. He's not getting off the porch. And he had a house too. A little house. And cat furniture and stuff. He was doing all right. And, he ends up dead. And there was no wounds to him. I looked him over pretty well. It didn't look like he was bashed. It didn't look like he was shot or stabbed or like it was some kind of violent death. And I imagine it was poison. So, here soon, or the next opportunities I have. I'm going to get some recording and some pictures of those cats. And then we can, I've got pictures of Mr. T, and then people can decide for themselves what that looks like compared to all these other things that I'm putting together and whatever. Yeah. Mr. T was a good cat and he was loved and he didn't deserve to die, you fucking piece of shits. The fuck is wrong with you people? Poisoning my cat, poisoning me with meth. What the fuck's wrong with you people, man?